Tonight on YCN News, a brand new Cumberland Farms gas station opens in Claremont. We speak with the contractors who built it. The Ava Art Gallery in Lebanon is expanding in the near future to accommodate new types of artwork. And we take to the bike trails of Moody Park in Claremont to see what they have to offer. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN News, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's Wednesday, July 22nd. I'm Kurt Weedy, and this is YCN News. Well, the local business scene is changing once more. Today marked the grand opening of the new Cumberland Farms gas station and convenience store on Pleasant Street right here in Claremont. YCN News had a chance to speak with the contractors who made it all possible.
Hello, I'm Scott with South Coast Development.
And Isaiah with South Coast Development.
We were the general contractor that built this location. This is their standard 4513 new convenience store to the industry, and this is a 16-week project that we finished on time for Cumberland Farms, and hopefully the town of Claremont enjoys this location.
Scott is at the office, and without his help, these things are impossible to build. So it takes the office and it takes us out in the field, and he pretty much covers the office. I cover out here, get everybody together. And with a bunch of good people, make something like this happen. It was great working here in the town of Claremont. Can't say good enough things about DPW and inspectors, and it was a wonderful town to work in. I would work in this town anytime.
Cumberland Farms is great to work for, and we love doing their projects, and I assume they like us doing them for them as well. So that's a good fit, and I have to reiterate what Isaiah said. The town of Claremont, everybody in town was all for us and helped us every step of the way to help us stay on schedule.
Now, a second Cumberland Farms in Claremont over on Washington Street is nearing completion as well and should be done later on this summer, though that facility is being built by a different set of contractors. Meanwhile, to make room for the Pleasant Street store's expansion, the Napa Autoport store was raised and moved to a new location on Pleasant Street. Now, Napa and Rite Aid are next to one another, with a larger parking lot to serve more customers at the same time. Discussions are continuing in southeastern Vermont about how Act 46 will affect school districts throughout the state continue, including one tonight in Wethersfield. A meeting Monday night in Westminster, Vermont, on the pros and cons of school consolidation to form larger districts of at least 900 students, well, it didn't get far. That's because the Westminster School Board postponed a vote on applying for a grant to hire a consulting team to help the board determine how it should respond to Act 46. That according to the Eagle Times newspaper. Westminster is a member of the Windham Northeast Supervisory Union. It should be noted that 7 different schools comprise that school grouping. A second meeting tonight of the Windsor Southeast Supervisory Union about Act 46 will be held tonight at the Wethersfield School. To learn more about Act 46 as it affects Windsor County schools, you can go to the website shown below on your screen. Well, it's been several months since the Hammond Cove shooting range in Heartland, Vermont has been open. Now it will reopen tomorrow, but under new rules, the Valley News reports. The state-owned range was not supervised, and complaints of noise and safety concerns from residents across the other side of the Connecticut River in Plainfield and Cornish were made known. Since its May 6th closure, about $30,000 of upgrades have been made at the shooting range. Now, the hours will be changed too with the reopening. The range will be open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. each week and only with a supervisory officer on the site. The range, of course, will be closed during the winter months. Well, after the break on YCN News, the Ava Art Gallery in Lebanon is looking to expand to accommodate new types of artwork. We'll have that story for you after the break. Stick around.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. Thank you for staying with us this Wednesday night. I'm Kurt Weedy. Well, New Hampshire's congressional delegation says residents and business owners need more time to ask questions about the proposed Northern Pass transmission project. Speaking only of its intentions, the project would bring hydroelectric power from Quebec into southern New England. Now, the power line to bring this energy would run from northern to central New Hampshire. The U.S. Department of Energy will hold public hearings on the project in the Granite State. The hearings are scheduled for October 6th through the 8th. More information on the hearings will be forthcoming. Meanwhile, a 90-day public comment period will begin on July 31st and will end on October 29th of this year. The draft environmental statement is 1,000 pages long. In a news release, the delegation agrees residents deserve more time to review and understand the entire project. To learn more about this project and to comment yourself, the Department of Energy has set up a website, northernpasseis.us. Well, Upper Valley's visual arts community is getting a makeover. Now that the Lebanon Zoning Board approved yesterday night a permit for Ava Gallery's expansion. Now, this expansion would allow studio space for artists working in 3 dimensions, such as glass, sculpture, and metals. A vacant building near the 9 Bank Street site will be torn down to make room for the gallery's expansion. That all according to the Valley News newspaper. And further south in Springfield, Vermont, talks continue on changing from traditional lighting sources to light-emitting diode or LED lights. Town manager Tom Yannerl tells the Eagle Times newspaper that process is well underway, dating to January of 2013. Now, that year, utility Green Mountain Power changed 455 street lamps it owned to LED lighting. Now, about 5 street lamps on Main Street still need to have the energy-saving LED lights put in. The cost to do so is $520 per street lamp. Now, even so, says GMP spokeswoman Dorothy Schnurr, LED lights last a long time, about 20 years, and they're easy to maintain as well. Well, after the break on YCN News, Kearsarge Chronicle host Lynn Solomon spoke with Leah McBain of the Newberry Library and what they have to offer this summer. We'll have that conversation for you after the break.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Mike Pizzone. Well, it was a lot more comfortable out there today with temperatures in the mid-70s, and it looks like we'll be in for similar weather for the rest of the work week. Tonight, any pop-up showers should wrap up by sunset, leaving partly cloudy skies and a low of 56 degrees. Tomorrow will begin with areas of patchy fog before 6 a.m., then give way to partly sunny skies with another comfortable high of 75 degrees. Those clouds will stick around into the evening with a low of 54 before a potentially wet day Friday with a 50% chance for showers after about 11 a.m. and a high of 76 degrees. Now let's take a quick look at our community calendar to find some unique events happening in the area. The Rockingham Free Public Library's book club will meet tomorrow at 7 p.m. to discuss the book Unbroken, a World War II story of survival, resilience, and redemption by Laura Hillenbrand. The club meets right inside the library on Westminster Street in Bellows Falls, Vermont. The Ladies Auxiliary of the Croydon Fire Department will hold its weekly bingo night tomorrow beginning at 6:30 p.m. at the Claremont Senior Center off Maple Avenue in Claremont, New Hampshire. The event is open to anyone ages 18 or older. The Claremont Farmers Market will be held tomorrow from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Broad Street Park in Claremont, New Hampshire. A variety of local vendors will be on hand offering meats, eggs, vegetables, and much more. The market will be held rain or shine and also feature live music. Some of the most thrilling outdoor activities can sometimes take place right in your own backyard or local trail. And YCN News anchor Kurt Weedy drove that point home this morning as he tried some mountain biking on the Moody Park network of trails right off Maple Avenue here in Claremont.
You may know me as YCN's anchor, but in my free time, I love to mountain bike. So today I tried out the trails at Moody Park in Claremont, New Hampshire to see what they had to offer. There's a parking area at the entrance and an access road that brings you up to the top of the park. Now you can either head up the road, which is a long incline, or up a trail, which offers more technical terrain but a slow incline, including plenty of bridges. A tree blocked the path near the top, but I was able to carry my bike up and over it. I was rewarded as the top of Moody Park offers an amazing view of Mount Ascutney and the surrounding area. I began down the trail at the top that has been maintained well and had a few bridges. At the bottom, I encountered another rider who told me about a new trail that had just been built. So I headed back up, and this time I took a right at a fork in the trail. I serpentined my way down the trail, which was chock full of jumps, bumps, and berms. Once at the bottom, I ventured over to the famed Gravity Cavity, which had recently been redone with new track. I asked some other bikers if they would attempt the stomach-lifting descent, to which they said, "No." Well, they all had a change of heart, and one by one we launched ourselves down the steep hill. What a rush. Getting back up wasn't easy, but it was worth the ride down. Moody Park in Claremont offers a variety of terrain, but is geared more towards intermediate riders, offering a professional serpentine track and the famed Gravity Cavity. Stay tuned next week as I take on a different trail in our region.
And on a professional note, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats rattled off their second straight win last night with a 7-1 victory over the Harrisburg Senators. The Cats will try and wrap up a 3-game sweep of Harrisburg tonight, with first pitch slated for 7 p.m. That's been your look at local sports. I'm Mike Pizzone.
Thanks, Mike. I'm very pleased to announce that what you just saw is only a tease of a new weekly series where we try out bike trails in our region and recommend them to you to try out yourself. Well, Capital Connections is up next. Part 3 of John O'Connor's and Ginny Lupe's conversation about the New Hampshire State Council on the Arts is coming up.
The YCN News continues in a moment.